Hi, this is Shihan Hussaini. You can call me Who, a level 3 archery coach certified by World Archery, founder of the Archery Association of Tamil Nadu and director of Who Archery Mission. You are in the level 2 archery coaches training and certification program conducted by the Who Archery Mission and the Archery Association of Tamil Nadu. What you are going to learn word by word today in this session is syllabus prescribed by World Archery, the supreme body of archery in the world. In today's session, we will deal with the code of ethics for archery coaches. Don't bother about the sound of the background. That is my parrot keeping on talking. Today, we will deal with 8 points in 8 sections. 1. Preamble. 2. Role of the coach. 3. Dignity. 4. Integrity in relationships. 5. Professional competence. 6. Personal standards. 7. Confidentiality. And 8. Coach responsibility. Let's first deal with section 1. Preamble in the code of ethics for archery coaches. Again, excuse me, the sound is from my parrot shouting at the back. Coaching in the sport of archery can contribute to the development of individuals in this chosen sport of archery. It is used as a process for developing archery and coaching skills, which when used will enhance the archer's ability, consistency, and enjoyment of shooting with a bow and arrow. Every coach should respect and protect every archer's human and civil rights and should not participate in any unfair, discriminatory practices or condone such activities. It is essential to establish and maintain a standard of ethical behavior, whatever level of coaching is being undertaken, whatever level of coaching. The coach should work within an agreeable ethical framework that is acceptable to them, the archer they are coaching, and the national guidelines of the country in which they are coaching. In our case, India, an Archery Association of India's Archery Coaches Code of AAI 2021 that we now are designing. The principles of responsibility defined provide the basis of core values for good progressive coaching. The Code of Ethics for Coaching is a framework within which to work and list a series of guidelines rather than a framework of rules. It is expected that archery coaches will encounter many ethical standards in many areas. They must respect the integrity and confidentiality of the athlete at all times and reject any form of abuse at whatever level this may happen. Archery coaches who adopt this code of conduct for coaches should accept the responsibility of the task they are undertaking. This should include the responsibility towards the archer, the parent of the archer, and the family, the colleagues, the friends of the archer, their employer, and the organization or the association under which they are operating. That is the club, the district association, the state body, the country, and of course, World Archery. My dear coaches, trainees of level 2. Now let us come to the second part of the code of ethics for archery coaches. We finished the first part. Now we are moving into the second part. In the second part, we are going to discuss the role of the coach. Second part, role of the coach. To gain respect, you have to give respect. And when you give it, make sure that it is genuine and sincere. Coaches play a vital role in the progressive development of their archers. How coaches communicate with the archer and the atmosphere they create often determines whether the interactive experience is beneficial or detrimental. Based on this, coaches should adopt a positive approach to coaching. This should be based on good common sense and incorporate several basic principles to teach the correct execution of the archery shot right from the beginning. In this section 2, there are 11 points. Point number 1 in section 2, give plenty of praise and encouragement to your archers. When archers are learning and refining newly adopted skills, coaches should provide plenty of genuine praise and encouraging statements that are related to the skills and performance of the archer. In section 2, the second point is give praise sincerely. If coaches are not sincere with the praise and encouragement, they will lose their credibility. With the archers they are coaching, they will lose their credibility. So always be sincere about your praise. Number 3, develop and produce realistic expectations. It is imperative that coaches and their archers have realistic expectations that are based on each individual's ability. They must be based on each individual's abilities. In the 4th section, World Archery says, give praise for effort as much as outcome. For some archers, winning events may be an unlikely achievement, but trying to succeed by giving maximum effort is attainable by all those involved. Maximum effort by all those involved. In the next section, in the next point, in 5th point, give praise for correct techniques and performance, not just outcome. Coaches should remember to encourage archers to improve their respective skills. They should also provide encouraging feedback to the archer, the right feedback to the archer when they have produced a good technique, but are less than successful with the result. The result is not important. They should become better in the technique. Winning at the expense of skill development will lead to failure at the more advanced levels of archery participation in competitions. There is no point in winning without bettering of the skill. In section 6, World Archery says, employ a sandwich approach to correcting mistakes. Such an approach focuses on providing a corrective instruction sandwich between two positives and encouraging statement. You positive and encouraging statement, you make a correction. Also by making the archer aware of the mistake is often an opening for correction. In the 7th point, World Archery says that coaches should adopt a positive and genuine approach to coaching. Positive and genuine approach. In point 8, a coach should help archers set realistic but challenging and attainable goals. They should be attainable, realistic, but at the same time it should be challenging. In point 9, they say that coaches should ensure that training and practice are enjoyable. They should enjoy it and always end on a very, very positive note. In point 10, we have said that coaches should not expect children or juniors to perform as miniature adults, but give consideration to the age, the physical attributes and their ability. Don't push them too much. In point 11, coaches should help archers define success. What is success? They must know what success is all about by achieving personal goals that have been set by mutual discussion and agreement between the archer and the coach. These goals should be recorded so that they can be referred to through the progression of improvement by the archer and by the progression of time. So you need to document everything. Well, dear archery coach trainees of level 2, we will now go to section 3 of World Archery Code of Ethics for Coaches. Section 3 deals with dignity. Now, what is all this dignity about? Safeguarding the dignity of the individual archer is a fundamental requirement of being a good archery coach. There shall be no discrimination at all between participants, between archers on the basis of race, sex, ethnic origin, religion, philosophical or political opinion, marital status, or any areas that would be offensive or cause an aggravation to any person the coach is likely to come in contact with. Now you must know that there are 2 points in this section under dignity. There are 2 points. One, no practice constituting any form of physical or mental injury to the participants will be tolerated. No injury to the participants at all. All doping practices at all levels are strictly prohibited. No doping at all. No doping. Any form of inducement to indulge in or partake in any drug abuse will be contradictory to the code of conduct for archery coaches. Drug abuse is banned. In point 2, in the 3rd section, all forms of harassment or abuse against archers or archery spectators, be it physical, mental, professional or sexual, are strictly prohibited. Well, that's the 2 points under section 3, dignity. Now let's move to section 4. We are going to move to section 4 of the Code of Ethics for Archery Coaches. In section 4, we will discuss the integrity in relationships. The integrity in relationships. Coaches must not encourage archers to violate the rules laid down by the official organization, federation, association governing archery activity. It's very, very important. They should actively condemn any such action and encourage archers to adhere to and abide by the spirit of the rules of the association. Archery Association, India, or whichever association. There are 5 points under section 4. Let's see them one by one. Point 1 in section 4 deals with this. Coaches should not compromise their archers' integrity by condoning any activity that would present an unfair advantage. Never condone such activity. The coach must encourage and actively pursue measures that progressively develops performance improvement in a safe and considerate manner, and one that will not jeopardize the archer's well-being for future performances. It's very, very important. In the section 4, the second point is, it is the coach's responsibility to ensure training and programs that they follow are directly relevant to the archer and that they are in accordance with their own age, their own ability and their own the experience of the archer, and will not cause any incapacitation or damage of any kind to the physical or mental health of the archer. Don't push them too hard. That's the key word. In point 3, the coach should be responsible for the conduct of the archers and must discourage any behavior that would bring them, that is the coach, the archer or the sport of archery, into disrepute. Whether this is in training, travel or in competition. You need lots and lots of discipline. Point 4, coaches must treat all opponents, every other opponent, with respect, whether it is in victory or in defeat. Be humble and should encourage the archers to act similarly. It is the coach's duty to prepare the archer to respond to success and defeat in a very cordial and dignified manner. There must be a lot of dignity both in success as well as in failure. Point 5, coaches must be able to present any evidence of documented qualifications on request. If anybody requests, show me your certificate, you must be ready to show the certificate and must not refer to or display any item that falsely implies any educational affiliation or accreditation qualification. You must be very sincere about your knowledge and qualifications. Dear level 2 archery trainees, now we will learn about section 5. Section 5, let's go ahead. In this section, we will deal with professional competence. Section 5 deals with professional competence. The coach should take the limits of the knowledge and capacity into account and should not assume responsibility if they are not sufficiently prepared for the task at hand. If they don't know something, they should not go pretend saying that, yes, I know it. In this section about professional competence, World Archery talks about or deals in 4 points. Let's check these 4 points out. Section 5.1 deals, it says, the coach should recognize and accept when it is necessary or appropriate to refer their archer to other coaches or sports-specific specialists, any kind of specialist who will help out for further development. It is also their responsibility, the coach's responsibility, wherever it is appropriate, to verify the competence of the person you're sending them to or the organization to which you're referring your archer. Make sure that they are the right kind of experts who will give them the right kind of mental, physical, nutritional, and every kind of a support. Section 2 deals with competence of the coach should normally be verified by documented qualification, documented evidence of performance. Competence cannot be inferred solely from prior experience. You can't say, I have experience. You need to have professional qualification and certification for you to be a good coach. In section 3, the coach must refrain from working in an environment that is unsafe or jeopardizes the safety of themselves or the archers, the well-being of the archers or any other participant around. You should be very, very careful. In point 4, the coaches should actively seek ways of improving the personal and or professional development knowledge. They have a responsibility to themselves and their archers to improve their own knowledge, their own ability, and the effectiveness of the coaching philosophies and principles. Now let's travel forward into section 6, the 6th section of Code of Ethics for Archery Coaches. Here we will deal with personal standards. Section 6, personal standards. In this section, there are 3 points that need to be understood and practiced by the archery coaches. Personal appearance is a matter of individual preference and culture, but a coach should project an image of cleanliness and efficiency and not project an image that would offend either onlookers or the archers being coached. Dress neatly, present yourself neatly. You should be very, very well groomed. Now, the 6 points in this section. Number 1, coaches must be aware of. They should be aware of and project an image of high standards of coaching to the archers, parents, their families, other coaches, spectators, officials, and all persons that may be in the vicinity of their coaching academy or a competition, or whoever can observe any archery activity being undertaken. You must make yourself presentable. Point 2, coaches should never smoke when they are conducting a coaching or training session. Smoking is totally prohibited. Never ever lift a cigarette. 3, coaches should not drink any alcohol just prior to conducting a coaching session. Please avoid alcohol. It brings down your dignity. It may affect your decision of competence to coach and may compromise the safety of the archers or spectators. You guys are having a bow and an arrow, so it's going to compromise the safety and security of people around. It may also be offensive to archers to smell alcohol on the breath of the coach or the person that they are being coached by. And breathing out alcoholic fumes does not portray a very good image of a coach in charge of an important training session. So guys, alcohol is completely prohibited for archery coaches, whether they are going to train or they are going to be in a competition. 7, confidentiality. 7th section deals with confidentiality. In this section, World Archery does not give any point. There are no points in this section. The discussion on narrative is very, very general. Now, when a coach has a good working relationship with an archer, it is inevitable that a great deal of confidential information is interchanged. You talk a lot of things that you normally won't confide to somebody, and sometimes it's recorded. It is imperative that the coach and archer agree on which of this data is regarded as confidential. And this confidential information must not be divulged to any person or persons without the express approval of the archer, the parent, or the guardian. You should keep everything as confidential as possible. Coaches must not disclose information entrusted to them in confidence. Any disclosure of information must not be for personal gain or benefit, nor be undertaken maliciously to damage the reputation of any person or organization. Some persons or organizations may have a right to have knowledge of some of this confidential information. Like the police might want some confidential information. It may fall on the coach to decide whether the disclosure of such an information is in the best interest of the archer or the archery association. Some examples can be told. For example, like performance information for team or competition selection. Details about the performance. Next, disclosure of information to doctors about the health, the athlete's health to the parents or family, where the health or safety of the athlete may be in jeopardy. The archer's health is in question. Then you can divulge the information. Disclosure of information to protect children or vulnerable adults from abuse. Sometimes when you want to prevent such abuse, you can divulge the information. Disclosure of information for legal or disciplinary requirements is also allowed. So if the police come and ask you about certain details, you do have to divulge to it. That's all about confidentiality, and we will move into the last section of the final 8th section of Code of Ethics for Archery Coaches. That is coach responsibility. What are the responsibilities of a level 2 archery coach or any coach in general? The basis of responsible coaching carries the expectation that activities carried out by coaches will be beneficial to the archers they are coaching and to the sport in which they partake. The implementation of this coaching activity, the implementation or the execution of this activity is to improve the archer's performance and at the same time minimize the risk of injury by ensuring their knowledge is current. Your knowledge must be current. And all your training programs are well prepared. You need to prepare your training programs well in advance. In this section, World Archery has defined 8 points, which we will go one by one, word for word. The same way in which World Archery has defined it. 1. The coach should recognize and acknowledge their limitations and work within these limitations. They should accept the responsibility to refer their archer to other coaches or other sports-specific experts who have more advanced knowledge and specialist knowledge than themselves. And now you need to work with these people, these experts, to enhance the archer's well-being and or performance. So if you don't know something, you should be prepared to send your archer to some other expert who is good in that particular subject. 2. The coach should strive to enhance their knowledge and coaching skills through research and personal learning projects, and to ensure that training programs enhance the archer's well-being and or performance. You should continue to learn for the archer's benefit, and it does not harm or hinder the archers in any way. So continue to update your own self. The coach must be responsible in section 3, in point 3, for the archers or team and themselves in the pursuit of professional competence, both in training and competition, through well-balanced and appropriate training methods, training programs, training projects. Section 4, the point 4, the coach must ensure that all training exercises and training programs are appropriate for the archer. They have been designed for and take into consideration the archer's age, the archer's health, the archer's ability, and the experience of the archer. In point 5, the coach must take into consideration on the individuality and ability of each team member, each archer, when constructing training exercises or training programs for performance enhancement. It's very, very important. In point 6, the coach must constantly monitor. He should continue to watch the archer's physical and mental condition and take this into consideration when overseeing, supervising training exercises or constructing or devising training programs. In point 7, the coach must be aware of everyday pressures, lots of pressures the archer may have, such as educational pressure, occupational pressure, family pressure, financial pressure, or relationship pressure, love affairs, or whatever it might be, and adapt their actions, instructions, and training programs accordingly. You need to find out what they are suffering from and adapt the programs accordingly. In the 8th point, the coach must consider the archer's well-being and future development when making decisions on whether the archer can continue competing if suffering from a minor injury, fatigue, or minor ailment. It is imperative that the well-being and future development of the archer are put before current performance. Your development is more important than your current performance, because in the long term it will affect the archer. Well, that brings to an end World Archery Syllabus, word by word, for Code of Ethics for archery coaches. Let me take this further, dear archery coach trainees, by narrating the oath of the coach that every archery coach must take before and after a session to the archers. I thank you for putting your trust in me and accepting me as your mind coach, archery coach, and probably a guru for life. I'll strive to be an ideal and inspiring role model and continuously motivate you by example of my own thought, words, and action. I'll push you to identify your strengths and weaknesses, transform all your negatives into positives, and bring out the best in you. I'll care for you and your well-being, provoke you to dream big, aim higher, and reach every target that you would set your mind's arrow to. I'll be strict in maintaining discipline, forgiving with unintentional mistakes, impartial in my attention, generous in my appreciation, constructive in my criticism, and humane in correctional punishments. I believe, I strongly believe, I really believe, I truly believe, I honestly believe, I genuinely believe that updating my knowledge is as important as remembering what I have learned. So will continue to update myself and practice my old skills diligently. I'll put your interest before mine, promote your welfare with all my might, aspire the best for you, and ceaselessly work to make you the number one archer in the world. Thank you for putting your trust in me. Now, so much for today, and I will meet you again in the next lesson, in the next session. Take care. Bye-bye. This is Shihan Hussaini. God bless you all. Bye-bye.